The Facebook Marketplace Laser Z mower, the gift that keeps on giving. When you fire up the deck, it kind of sounds like a helicopter, a turbine helicopter winding up. So I've got this bearing that I'm going to replace because it's the one that was making the most noise. These bearings are all pretty good. 2 idler pulleys I'm going to replace on it. And I might replace this bearing. I don't know. You can hear it a little bit. And that's definitely not good. I've greased it up. Still might replace it. And the observant among you may have noticed that there's an engine hoist over there and no engine in it. Mowed the yard once or twice. I think once. Might have been twice. Anyway, it goes through a lot of oil. And by a lot, I mean a scary amount of oil. So tore the motor down. That'll be coming up in another video though. Check the playlist. Meanwhile, back at the workbench, shut that fan off. I've ordered some new bearings, got the numbers off the bearings, knocked them out, got new bearings. Interestingly enough, the new bearings, I popped one seal off of them, actually have grease in them. This is the old bearing. This is the better one of the two, but there's almost no grease inside of these. This is the top one. This is the one that was going bad. Little rust in there, but it still, don't know if you can hear that or not, just barely makes any noise when you take it completely out. All right, I've cleaned this out on the surfaces where the bearing is going to be set into to make the bearing go in as easy as it should. I just cleaned it with a little Scotch-Brite, got the extra rust off of it. I drilled and tapped it for a grease fitting. This is a quarter 28 thread grease fitting, standard. They do make them in metric from what I saw on the internet, so thread it to your favorite size. Oh, also, when I drilled and tapped this, I usually drill about 1, sometimes 2 number drill bit sizes bigger if I'm going to tap it for something like a grease fitting, because I don't need full thread engagement to hold that fitting in. If I do, I got a lot of pressure inside this thing. Anyway, so what I've done is pop the inner seal off of this bearing. I'll pop the inner seal off the other bearing. Wherever it went, here it is. And then I'm going to put them in with the seals facing each other so that when I grease it, I actually get grease in the bearing. Now, one thing you don't want to do when you do this is just pump like crazy on the grease gun, because you can, I've heard, push this seal out. I've never actually pushed a seal out before, but I'm sure it's possible, especially if you got one of them air grease guns or something like that and you're just going at it like a madman. Best way to drive one of these bearings in, you drop it in the hole, you find the biggest hammer you have, hold on. And you just you don't just wail on it. If possible, you find a socket that fits right on the outer edge of the bearing. That way you're not beating on the balls in the bearing itself as you drive it in, or press it in, either way. These came out fairly easily, so I'm not going to panic about putting them back in. I've got everything cleaned out real good on the inside. Should be just a little tappy tap tap, and it should drop right in there. Oh, not on the solid part of the bench. Got a leg right under the bench right here so I can hammer on it. Oh, and when I put that hole in there, I did take a minute or two to look at where I wanted it at and which direction I wanted it pointed. It's got a 45-degree fitting in it because, well, that's all I had. Feels like it's moving. I may have gotten it ahead a little bit on this side. It's a little ahead on that side, so. I may have to use the press to press these in. There it went. It was a little bit crooked. If you get one side up a little bit, they'll bind up. It's deep enough to get the snap ring in. Now we'll do the same with the top bearing. So I have seen people use, even with the metal seals, a knife blade and somehow pop them from the outside edge, but I don't think this one will do that. It's pretty heavy duty on the outside. I tried it and it didn't seem to want to get under there. So I'm going to take it out like a barbarian. Yeah, every time you try to do something on camera, it doesn't work. There it went, popped up. And like I said, these actually have enough grease in them to where they look like they'd last about 6 or 8 months. Well, they'd last a lot longer than that, but most bearings, you pop a cover off, they look like that. They might have a couple little spots of grease. Let me be fair to this bearing and take the other side off since, well, it's still a good bearing. I might reuse it, might have to reuse it in something else. So let's take the other side off of this one since there's nothing on that side. Oh, this one also has dents in it. This was the top one next to the pulley, so something got in there and dented it up a little bit. And usually the top bearings are what goes out because moisture gets up in there a little bit, especially if you keep them outside. Yeah, this bearing from the start never had a chance. I mean, little moisture got in it, yeah, but if it had been even half full of grease, it probably would have helped it. I mean, this bearing's not bad yet, but it's making noise. Probably doesn't have very many hours before it dies. All right, we'll beat this other bearing into place. Oh, wait a minute. Almost forgot something. Where's it at? Don't put them together without this in there. Clean that off real good. Yeah, that would have been a sad state of affairs, having to pull that bearing back out. All right, that one in that way. Wait. I have pulled bearings out before that looked almost new. I mean, they didn't have any corrosion or age, grease or anything on them, that had hammer marks on this part from hammering it in like this. That's very hard on the bearing. All right, that's seated on the collar on the inside. It's not beat up. Also, another thing that I have done in the past, if you don't have a socket big enough, if you can get one of these bearings apart, it takes some work. You got to twist the inner race out of it. But if you can get that apart, you can use this to drive most of the way in. Mostly I use the outer race on the conical bearings where the bearing comes apart in 2 pieces, because they're sometimes that big around. I don't have sockets that big. Anyway, now what I'm going to do, you can see I've got this offset just a little bit in the bottom of the hole. Let's get some light on this again. What did I do with the light? There's a light. I've got that offset just a little bit in there. So when I pump grease in there, grease should come out around the edge of that. That way I'll know when this is about full before I install it. I want to have this full of grease when I install it so that when you put 1 or 2 in it the next time, you know it's going somewhere, because the spindles that were on the lawnmower now, the ones that are on there now, that bad one, I probably put 40, 50 pumps of grease, I don't know, maybe more, before I started feeling any back pressure on the gun and before it started feeling like it was getting into the bearing. So those hub assemblies were empty. Like I said, I may redo that one. Probably end up having to redo all of them within a year or so. Grease gun, that's what I need. Does your grease gun leave a mess everywhere? Take an old pair of jeans and just wrap it up in it. That way if it ever gets hot and loses any of its grease, so one of the questions that I really have is this really worth doing? I really don't know, but I can tell you this. Every spindle that I've ever rebuilt that I've done this to, I've never replaced. But then again, I'm only mowing my own yard with the old beat up lawnmowers that were given to me. Uh-oh. I wish I'd have counted those. Got to be up to about 15 by now. A smart man would have packed that full of grease before he started this. All right. I keep wiggling it and popping it off. I can see grease starting to fill around it. That's got to be 50 or 60 pounds. It's just barely showing up around the edges. Now I wish I would have bought that lock-on grease fitting for my grease gun, so you can just pull it back, lock it on, and stop this wiggling around and losing your connection stuff. All right, it seems like it's full. Now I'm going to line it back up, probably put 2 more shots in it. Pretty well got it lined up. That's how much grease came out of it. Yeah, you know, should work. That was 3 more. Yeah, just keep throwing more tools on top of the other tools. It'll work out. Snap ring pliers. Snap ring. Whoops. This isn't the world's best set of snap ring pliers, but I may be able to get this snap ring all the way in. Didn't drop into the groove. All right then, so my camera battery, which was at least 2/3 when I started videoing this, just cut off. Anyway, I got the snap ring seated, and I'm just tapping this bad boy into place. It appears we are seated. Wipe out a little bit of extra grease. Oh yeah, looking good, looking good. Got to remember which way these things were when you took them out. But because the ring is that size, the washer is that size, I'm sure it was that way over. It makes sense because it tapers away from the bearing if you put it in this way. So yeah, I like it. Put the washer in the right way over. It probably has a little concave to it, I don't know. Well, maybe it used to. Yeah, it does. It is curved that way just a little bit. All right, I will look up a torque value, spin this bad boy down, get the torque value on it. And, you know, I thought about that for a moment. There's a collar between the two bearings. You're not really torquing it down on the bearings. So, I think the Unga Dunga rating should be about like that. It shouldn't fall off. Smooth. Oh, and these things are really easy to take out once you take the deck off the mower. All right, all I got to do is get some bolts lined up under here. Let's see. This would probably be easier if my shoulder wasn't hurting as bad as it is. But it's getting better, and I'm not going to use my left arm to try to lift this thing and wiggle it around. I'm going to use my left hand to try to start the bolts. And I got the camera where it can see what I'm doing, so I'm kind of in my own way. If you line up one bolt hole, you could be a winner. Got to be smarter than the average cement block. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know. If you have to be smarter than the average cement block to do this, I'm out. If I get two of those somewhere near lined up, then I should be able to wiggle around and find the threads in the third one. Ta-da! Victory! I know, totally unnecessary, but somebody may have to take that apart someday. That little impact will really get those bolts tight. It's amazing how tight it gets them. And I bought me a new set of 6-point box ends, metric and standard. Link in the description if you're interested. Not affiliated or anything, but I rounded off a bolt on a truck, and because all I could get to it with was a box end. And so, yeah, good investment. Good investment. I think it'll be all right. It's easy to get to. I don't know. Well, that was easy. Now there's nothing left to do but, well, you know, put the deck back on, wait for the 2 idler pulleys to come in that I've ordered, put those on, the belt on, etc., and oh, yeah. Wait for the parts to come back from the machine shop, order a few more parts for the engine, build a motor for this thing, and, yeah, eventually, maybe by next summer, I'll be mowing. Thanks for watching. Like, share, and subscribe.